Hey guys, welcome. This is the second week of distance learning and this is for Algebra 2. So I know last week we had a couple of assignments that were going to be due on Sunday. So make sure that you are caught up on those. Also make sure that you're seeing what kind of numbers you're working on. I know a lot of people turned their homework in and they did a little bit more than they needed to, which I'm perfectly fine with. And it gives you a little bit more practice, but make sure you're watching the numbers that you're working on. Also, make sure to ask questions. Post a reply down below, chat, email, whatever. Make sure you're sending those if you do have questions. I'll be glad to answer any and every question that you have. It'll give me some more math to do, which is even better. So today and this week, there's going to be 2 assignments. Okay, one's going to be book work, and then one is going to be a summary of this unit to make sure that we're all on the same page moving forward. Okay, as soon as we get done with this unit, we're going to be moving on to some studies and doing a little bit more with statistics, so keep that in mind. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Pascal's triangle. Pascal's triangle is a pattern of numbers. So to go along with the things we did last week, a pattern. I'm going to go ahead and write up a few lines of Pascal's triangle just to get us started. Okay. So the 0 line and the 1 line. So it's going to start going in a pattern. You're going to end up adding the numbers above it. So for the 2 line, it's 1, 2, 1. For the 3 line, it's 1, 3, 3, 1. For the 4 line, it's 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. Okay, so this comes down like a triangle, and you're just putting the numbers above it together. So 1, 1, 1, and then 1, because there's only 1 above it, 2, because there's 2 ones above it, and then 1, because there's only 1 above it. Then with that next line, 1, 3, because there's a 2 and 1, 3, because there's a 2 and 1, and then 1. And then finally the last one that we just went ahead and wrote up, 1, and then 4, because there's a 3 and 1, 6, because it's under 2 3s, another 4, and 1. So you're probably wondering, why would I care about this triangle? Well, what this triangle allows us to do is allows us to expand binomials. Okay, it allows us to expand something like this, 3x plus y to the 5th power. It allows us to actually go through and expand that without writing the parentheses 5 times, foiling 2 times, distributing another 3 times. So what ends up happening is it makes it simpler, makes it easier, because there's actually a pattern to it. So we're going to work through a couple of examples like this. Okay, so example 1, we're going to expand c plus d, in parentheses, to the 9th power. So c plus d to the 9th power, which means we have to go to the 9th level of Pascal's triangle. So just to make it easier, you can do it by hand and go ahead and go down to the 9th level. I'm going to just put the 9th level up here so that we have it, and then we'll look at how we go from there. Okay, so this is the 9th level of Pascal's triangle. So if you think about being able to multiply this parenthesis 9 times, the first term is going to be c multiplied by c 9 times. So what's going to happen is you're going to have c to the 9th power. Okay, that first piece to that exponent is always going to be the first term. So the first piece of the binomial to that exponent is always going to be the first term. Just like the last term will always be the last piece to that exponent. So the last one is going to be d to the 9th. So underneath that 1, you're going to have d to the 9th. Okay? And then what happens is each term for c, or that first term, okay, for each term, it's going to go down 1. Okay, so it's going to start out c to the 9th, Then the next piece underneath the 9, you're going to put c to the 8th, c to the 7th, 6, 5, 4. And then that last piece, that last term is not going to have any C. Then same thing for D's, you're going to go the other way. You're going to go D9, D8, D7, D6, all the way to the front. And of course, you're not going to have a D in that first term. And I like to write them kind of over the top of each other so that you can go down and kind of see what's happening. And then the terms, the answer to this is just putting this together, each of these columns together. So 1, c to the 9th, plus 9, c to the 8th, d, plus 36, c to the 7th, d to the 2nd. So your final answer will look like this. And that's your final answer. When it comes to expanding, I'm going to go through one more just to kind of give us an idea of what happens if you see numbers with letters in these binomials. So let's go ahead and look at example number 2. Example 2, 2x minus 3y to the 4th power. So a lot of times what you're going to notice, if they have numbers with them, a lot of times they're going to be smaller exponents just because it's a lot of calculating and calculating. Okay, 3 squared, 2 to the 4th. Okay, so you're going to see a lot of smaller numbers there. So with this one being to the 4th power, we're going to use the line 4 of Pascal's triangle, which we have written right above it, 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. So go ahead and write it up. And then from there, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take the first term to that exponent. So 2x to the 4th. And then we're going to go down. And then we're going to take the last term to that exponent. So a couple things here. Make sure that when you're doing this, you group it together and you put the exponent outside of the group. Okay, so you see 2x and then a parenthesis and then 4. Okay, because both of these things have to go to the 4th power. So 2 to the 4th and x to the 4th. And then the second thing you want to notice is the second part of this binomial is a minus. So minus 3y, which means that when you actually put these in, you put in a parentheses, you have to put minus 3y in that parentheses. It's very important because what ends up happening is this could change your sign for the piece in that answer. Because we know a negative to the 1st power is still a negative. A negative to the 3rd power is still a negative, so it will change some of your signs. So those are the two things that people usually have trouble with this. So make sure you're following those two pieces, and you'll see us carry those out here in just a second when we put our columns together. Okay, so first column, 1 and then 2x to the 4th power. So 1, 2 to the 4th. So 16 x to the 4th. Okay, 2 to the 4th power is 16, so 16x to the 4th. Okay, for the second one, you have 4, and then you have 2x in parentheses to the 3rd. 2x parentheses to the 3rd is 8x to the 3rd. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, so we're looking at this as 8x to the 3rd. Okay, so you're going to be multiplying 4, 8, and negative 3. 4, 8, and negative 3. So 4 times 8 is 32, times negative 3 is negative 96. Next one, 6, and then we have 4, and then you have 9. So 6 times 4 times 9. And the last one, negative 3 to the 4th power is 81. So 81y to the 4th. That's your final answer. Okay, so watch those two things we talked about. Watch the cubing or squaring or to the 4th power of that in each piece, especially if it has a number. That's going to be the hardest part here, is making sure that you take that number to the power as well. And then also be careful with negatives. Okay, if you see a minus inside of that binomial, you do have to take that minus with that term to that exponent. Okay, example 3. Example 3, we're going to now look for a specific term. So the first two examples, we did the entire thing, and we went all the way through it. This time, we're just zeroing in on that one term. So for this particular case, it's 4x plus y is your binomial to the 4th power. And we're only going to be getting the 3rd term. So that's all we're looking for, that one place. So we're going to do the same thing we did last time, except for we're not going to go through all those calculations. Okay, all we're going to do is the 3rd term. Since we're using the 4th one, we already have the 4th piece written above it. So 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. So, boom, we have the coefficients set up. Now we're going to go through and put our terms into the powers. So 4x in parentheses to the 4th, 4x to the 3rd, 4x squared, 4x, and then nothing. And then we're going to go backwards with the y. Y to the 4th, y to the 3rd, y squared, y, and then nothing. Now, because this says the 3rd term, all we're going to be looking at is the 3rd term here. So since that's the case, that's the only one we're working with. That's the only calculation we're going to make for this question. And we're finished. So with that being said, that finishes the question. Okay. Instead of looking at a 4th example, I'm going to be posting the application pieces below. And if you want to see this done in a different way using permutations or combinations, I'm going to also post that as well. Okay, those can be a little bit confusing, but they are both utilizing factorials, which you used in geometry kind of at the end of that course, as well as maybe a little bit in Algebra 1. And now what you're going to see below is the assignment utilizing Pascal's triangle in the textbook. Okay, you're going to see it below. Okay, I'm going to give you a second to write that down. And now the second assignment. You're going to see it posted here. It is going to be a 1 to 2 page paper on why sequences and patterns are important. Why arithmetic sequences are important. Why are geometric sequences important? Why is Pascal's triangle, or the pattern here, important in the real world? Okay, so you're going to write a 1 to 2 page paper about why those are important in the real world. that will allow us to summarize this chapter. Then for the next week or weeks, we're going to be looking at studies that will be able to either recognize patterns, or we're going to be utilizing studies to calculate statistical information. So this will help us kind of summarize this chapter in the text. And then that way we can move on to statistics. And then after that, one of my favorite units, which is trigonometry. Okay, for some of you who like the geometry from last year, okay, you're going to be utilizing trig information so that we can apply it to like your unit circle and pieces like that. So that's the plan for the next few weeks. But just for this week, you have that textbook assignment and then that paper, and that is going to be due by next Monday by the end of the day. If you have any questions, okay, please feel free, post, chat, as well as email anytime. I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a great day.